Okay, in today's lesson we're going to talk about solving proportions using cross products. We can solve a proportion two different ways. We can either use cross products or we can just do the canceling fractions solving process that we've been doing in other problems like variables on both sides and stuff like that. I prefer the canceling fractions version versus cross products. Cross products, you skip steps. You actually end up doing the same steps that you would do in canceling fractions. But a lot of you might prefer the cross products because it takes less work. So let's use the cross products first. We're going to solve this problem here. So let me write it. Got 3 over x equals 2 over x minus 6. If I want to solve this, cross products means I take this denominator, I multiply it times this numerator. I take this denominator and I multiply it times this numerator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 times x, which is going to give me 2x on the right side. And then I'm going to take x minus 6 and I'm going to multiply it by 3. So that gives me 3x minus 6. Then I distribute the 3 to each term and solve the equation from there. So distribute the 3 to each term, that's 3x minus 18 equals 2x. Alright, I'm going to add 18 across and subtract 2x, so 18 moves this way, 2x moves this way. So that means I got to subtract 2x on each side. And I got to add 18 on each side. So when I do this, the 18's cancel, the 2x's cancel, so we're left with 3x minus 2x is x equals, and when we add 18 to the other side, x is going to equal 18. So the idea when we solve a proportion, we got a proportion here, using cross products, you take one denominator and you multiply it times the other numerator, and you take the other denominator and multiply it times the other numerator, and that actually will cancel out the fractions. So if we go to solve this and we actually do the canceling fractions portion, what we're going to do is we're just going to cancel the denominator in each term just like we normally would. Alright, if you don't want fractions, cancel the denominator and that'll get rid of it. So let's start with this 3 over x equals 2 over x minus 6. If I want to get rid of this fraction, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by the x minus 6 on both sides. That's x minus 6 over 1. So this cancels, and we're left on this side with 2. So we got 2 equals, and on this side, x minus 6 times 3, well, let's just write it how it would be. 3 times x minus 6 in parentheses, all over x. Now, all we have to do is cancel this other fraction, and we'll be ready to solve this. So let's cancel this fraction by multiplying by x, multiply by the denominator. Multiply this side by x. So the x's cancel here, and we get 3x minus 6 equals 2x. Now notice, right here is 3x minus 6 equal 2x, and here is 3x minus 6 equal 2x. So cross products are just the same as canceling the fractions, except the cross products skip a step. Alright, they don't show all this here. They skip those steps and they just go straight to this process here. So if you like cross products, you can use that. I prefer the canceling fractions because that's how we're going to do it in any other problem. Alright, the only time you can use a cross product is when you have two fractions equal to each other. We can always cancel fractions. So this problem would be the same. You do the exact same thing in steps that we would have down here, and eventually you're going to end up with x equal 18 for your answer. Okay, now we're going to solve this proportion. Now, and this one looks a little easier because we got the variables on top in the equation. They're already in the numerator, so this one looks a little easier. Let's use the cross products model. We got m over 5 equals m minus 6 over 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the 5 times the n minus 6 and the 4 times the m. 4 times m is 4m equals 5 times m minus 6, which is 5. In parentheses, you'll put the m minus 6. That's the cross product method right there. Okay, we just took the 4 times the m, the 5 times the m minus 6. Now we distribute to solve. We have 5m minus 30 equals 4m. Now I have variables on this side, and I got a number on this side, so I'm just going to move this to the other side here. So subtract 5m on each side. When I do that, it gives me negative m. 4 minus 5 is negative m equals negative 30. Now to solve this, I have this negative being multiplied times the m. To get rid of it, I divide by a negative, or negative 1, because there's actually negative 1 here. Divide by negative 1, I divide this side by negative 1. Negative negative makes a positive, negative negative makes a positive on that side, so m equals 30. That's how you solve using the cross product method. Let's look at the canceling fractions method. It's actually really simple. The canceling fractions method, we just want to cancel out this fraction and this fraction. So we're going to do that. Doesn't matter which one you start with, you're just going to start canceling them. Let's cancel this fraction. Multiply by 4, multiply by the denominator. Multiply this side by 4. Okay, the 4's will cancel, and you're left with m minus 6. 4 times m is 4m. 1 times 5 is 5. Now we just got to cancel this denominator. Multiply by 5. Multiply this side, okay, by 5, the whole thing, right? So 5 cancels there, 5 cancels there, and we get 4m equals 5 times m minus 6. Now notice we end up in the same exact spot, okay, as using the cross product. So canceling fractions and using the cross product, they're the same thing. All right, like I said, I prefer this. If you like that, go ahead and do that. We solve this the same way, and we'll end up with m equal 30. Now we're going to solve this proportion. All right, this time we have all the variables on the same side. All right, nothing's going to change here. All right, let's use cross products first. X over 9x minus 2 equals 1 over 8. All right, cross product says I take 9 minus 2x, multiply it times the 1, 8 times the x. 8 times x, 8x. 9x minus 2 times 1, well, that's going to be 1, 9x minus 2, 1 times 9x minus 2. We know if we distribute a 1, though, it's not going to change anything. So that's just 9x minus 2 equals 8x. Again, I have variables on this side and the number on this side, so I'm going to move this over. So subtract by 9x, subtract by 9x, that gives me negative x. 8 minus 9 is negative x equals negative 2. Just like we did on the previous, we're going to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. When I divide negative negative, it's going to make a positive. Negative negative here is going to make a positive, so it's going to be x equal 2 for an answer. Let's look at the canceling fractions portion. All right, remember it's the same thing as a cross product. We'll start with x over 9x minus 2 equals 1/8. Well, let's cancel the 1/8 first. If we want to cancel that fraction, we just multiply by 8 on both sides. When we do that, the 8's are going to cancel, and we're left on this side with 1. On this side, we take 8 times x, which gives us 8x, and we still have 1 times 9x minus 2, so it's still 9x minus 2. Now we need to cancel this fraction, so you multiply by the stuff in the denominator, which is 9x minus 2. Okay, so you multiply this side by 9x minus 2. Remember, doing it to the whole side here. So this cancels, and we're left with 8x equals 1 times 9x minus 2. We know when we distribute that, it's not going to change it, so it's 9x minus 2. look at what we have. We got this. It's the exact same as what we had over here. Alright, so canceling fractions and cross products, same thing. Alright, now when we go solve this, we're going to end up with the same exact answer, which is x equal 2.